We found out that we were pregnant in December of 2001. Found out that Henry was going to be a little boy, and that was very exciting. But then shortly thereafter, we also had the news that they were concerned about some of my blood test numbers, and that they were concerned that Henry might have a birth defect of some kind. So we chose to go and have the amniocentesis test done, and that confirmed that Henry had Down syndrome, and we also had an echo done on his heart because they had concerns about his heart, and he ended up having a transitional AV canal defect, and he was born on August 5th, 2002. He ended up having heart surgery at age 2, and they did that repair on that AV canal defect. We were able to go up to Cleveland Clinic, and they changed his medicine regimen, and actually at that point Henry started growing really well. He started becoming very physically active, started making a lot of gains. The doctor started talking about the fact that Henry had, ahead of his age, large muscle skills, and so he just started to blossom and started to shine around age 4 or 5, and it was at that time that we had been following my dad out on the driving range, and Henry would be in a baby buggy, and we would watch Granddad hit some balls, and then after a while, then we started letting Henry hit a couple of balls.
All right, well, I grew up over there in Riverland Terrace over there by the municipal golf course. So, but I really never really played that good at golf. I was right around about a 10 handicapper, is about what I was. Tried to play golf as much, as much as I could. And then Henry came along, and then he started driving, hitting golf balls out there like that.
By the time he was age 5, he actually had his own club and was hitting the ball and just giggled and laughed every time he hit the ball. He would giggle so hard that he almost couldn't hit the next ball.
I went and I bought him a little short club and let him hit some balls, and he was hitting about 10 or 15 of them. Then he got to where he was hitting about half of the bucket. Then he got to where he's hitting the whole bucket of balls, and I was just standing there and watching him.
But he started out with a small field of balls right in front of him on the driving range, and kept progressing in that field of balls, kept moving further and further out down the driving range until now. I can't even see the field of balls anymore. They're out of my eyesight.
But one thing about Henry is that if you really look close enough, you can see he's very strong. He is exceptionally strong, and he is very flexible.
So he just loves the game of golf. You're not going to find a kid who loves golf more than Henry. Favorite club that he likes to use is a driver, always has. He just wants to grip it and rip it and kill that ball.
And he started off with the hockey style grip. And when he grips the club, he grips it like you're grabbing a rope and you're twisting it. So I said, I got to get his hands closer. So we would take him down and get his clubs re-gripped. The grip's probably about 12 inches long, so we cut off a couple of inches and let him practice. But he would always grip the grip. Then we cut him off a couple more, and we got him down now to about 7.5 inches. He's not quite right together like I like to see it, but we're gonna let him go with that. Let him do his own thing.
But he loves the driver, always has, and he tolerates the rest of the clubs in his bag. The irons and the putter. But
and we just basically tried to get him doing a lot of practicing and getting him involved in a lot of different events, out playing with different people of different ages, different, not just one little group like that.
So everybody knows it takes a village to raise a child, and Henry's got some incredible people in his village, from the teachers to the therapists to the family to the close friends. But we've had the opportunity to meet one special person named Paul Van Zutsen. And Paul, like all the other golfers who's been out on the driving range, he was out there at the municipal golf course in Charleston, and he happened to see Henry on the driving range, and he came over and he talked to me and he asked me a couple questions about Henry.
Well, I met Henry. I was fortunate to meet Henry. I guess it was about a year and a half ago. I looked over on the range and I saw Henry there, and he was just swinging away, just hitting one after another. It was rapid fire, but I noticed that they were all just the same little pattern, just a little draw. And so I went over, just, I had a couple seconds before I had to be on the tee, and I just wanted to give him a high five and say hi to the parents.
He happened to see Henry on the driving range, and he came over and he talked to me and he asked me a couple questions about Henry. It didn't catch my eye because so many people do that every time we go out to hit balls. And so I talked to Paul and all that, and then we kind of went our separate ways. And then probably about 15, 20 minutes later, we went over to number 1 tee because Henry was getting ready to play 9 holes. And Paul and his friend Dustin were out there, and they were getting ready to tee off. And they saw that Henry was teeing off and that he was by himself, and so they said, well, does Henry want to join our group? And we were pretty excited about that, and so they teed up, and as the holes ticked down, Henry and Paul became fast friends, and there was one of those greens out there, I believe it might have been number 7. They all had kind of 3 long putts, each of them to putt in the hole and all that. And Henry was up first, probably about a 25-foot putt, and then he actually sank his putt and put the pressure on the other 2 men. So that was an incredible day.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing to watch. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but really my intention was he just right from the start looked so happy. We were laughing ourselves at just the joy of seeing someone just so happy to be out there, and just to be able to participate in that has been just a treat for us and a treat for me.
And he developed his own swing. He would watch people and all like that. Like with Paul, he would watch Paul swing, and he won't say anything, but he learns from watching other people. I never tried to take him and say, take the club back here and do that.
Yeah, the funny thing about that is I didn't really realize over the first couple times that I played with him that we were not verbally communicating.
Paul is starting and is learning how to work with Henry. He's found out he can't teach Henry, but he's found out he can work with Henry.
I watched his grandfather, obviously, I have so much admiration for the work that it must have taken to get Henry to where he is, when I met him. I kind of took my cue from him and tried to pick up a couple things here and there. Just the manner in which he was approaching them, kind of his voice and his tone. It seemed like he was really sensitive to things like that. And it was obvious he's listening, and he does confirm that he knows where he's hitting the ball, and he can tell me the color of the flag and things like that. But no, I think he just likes to watch, and I've seen sometimes where his rhythm will change a little bit just after talking or watching me hit. But there's not much work to do really, as far as I've worked with kids teaching golf. I did work as an assistant in the PGA program years ago. So I do have a little bit of technical background, but I never considered it. That you just have to find things that register with him and try to capitalize on when you can get his attention.
When you're working with Henry, you've got to work with him, and that's one thing I can say about Paul. When we got an opportunity for Henry to play golf with Paul, and we got an opportunity for Paul to want to play golf and work with Henry, I really think that's probably not just one of the highlights, but the highlight. Paul can advance his game farther than what me and Barbara and the rest of us can do. He can do it. He has that quality to do it.
Sure. So yeah, I don't play much competitive golf, but I decided to play in the Charleston City Amateur last year, and I probably play in one golf tournament a year. So anyway, I was playing pretty well, and in the second day, I guess I was right near the lead, and I forget if it was the first or second day that they were out there, but I asked them to come out, and Henry rode around. I know the last day they were out there for sure, and it brought a big smile to my face to see him out there. It meant a lot, and just seeing him out there, you know, just being able to say hi was really calming, and you know, really is the essence of amateur golf. Just the fact that events like that you can have people around, and yeah, so for me it's been tremendously rewarding.
You know, Henry goes to different driving ranges on different golf courses, and we just kind of give him a bucket of balls and let him hit a bucket of balls. And so on that day, we went to Patriots Point, and we had noticed that there was this tent set up to the side of the driving range. And I was told that y'all were setting up for a amateur long drive contests. We met some really great people out there. There was one young player out there that we've seen, I believe, in first tee, so he used some of the other players. And then we actually did meet Sean Pfister, who has won the World Long Drive Contest 3 times, lives in Charleston now, and he got to meet Henry. And so, you know, the machine here, he met the beast, and we had a great day that day, and just really thrilled and really excited that Henry's going to get to go up to Myrtle Beach to participate in the adapted division of the boys 13 to 15-year-olds for the amateur long drive contest, to see what this boy can do. An incredible show of skills on Henry's part.